Chicago, a city that over the years has been given numerous monikers. City of Big Shoulders, the Second City, the Windy City, Hog Butcher for the World. None, however, may describe Chicago as aptly as the title, City of Neighborhoods. For behind the city's beautiful front yard, with its breathtaking architecture, world-class museums, and spectacular lakefront lies what some consider to be the true Chicago. A place made up of dozens of communities, bound by the gritty reality of big city life, but made distinct by wide-ranging dialect, custom, and heritage. Chicago is a city in permanent transition and has always been home to the immigrant and migrant worker. From the wave of Irish fleeing famine in the 1840s to the post-World War II migration of Puerto Ricans, the city has enjoyed immense multiculturalism, if not always a great sense of harmony. No greater incubator for ethnic coexistence can be found than Chicago's South Side. And within the South Side is a seeming microcosm of Chicago itself, the neighborhood of Bridgeport.
Bridgeport, in the very beginning, was an outlying farm, distance from Fort Dearborn. It's called Lee's Place. And in fact, there was a massacre there just before the massacre at Fort Dearborn in 1812.
And it's an interesting thing because the settlers who are here, the American settlers, are here illegally. They're not supposed to be on this territory. It's Indian country, and it's after Tippecanoe. And it's in retribution, I think, for Tippecanoe. Well, there's no question it's in retribution for Tippecanoe. A couple people are killed. But it's really to signal to these illegal settlers in the area that they better take care.
Later on, it took the name of Hardscrabble, which means a place where it's very difficult to make a living, sort of scratch the earth. In a lot of ways, Bridgeport has kept that kind of image of itself.
Some of the first to settle in this austere neighborhood were the Irish.
One of the first large European immigrant waves to arrive in the United States. The potato famine was in the 1840s. Ireland was 50% depopulated within a generation, and not all of those people came to the United States, but a lot came to the United States.
Bridgeport began to thrive after about 1836 when they began to dig the Illinois-Michigan Canal. And that canal was opened finally in 1848, and that's when the Irish came down largely to dig the canal. The Irish weren't the only. There were Germans and Norwegians and others who came, Scandinavians who came to dig the canal, but they were the largest group.
Bridgeport then is really the end point for the canal, and it's going to be where work is going to parts of the work will commence. It's going to be where a lot of the labor, the folks who dug the canal by hand, are going to live. In a lot of ways, Bridgeport is connected as much with Chicago, but it's also connected going to the south and west to Lockport, to Joliet, to the canal towns. So in a way, Bridgeport, in a very fundamental way, Bridgeport's a canal town.
That is why I passionately love the blues, because it fosters so many different types and forms of music. Well, I think there is a disconnect between the blues and the younger person of today. I think that they do not have an appreciation, probably because it's so far removed from anything that they really know and understand. And unless they're like unique individuals that seek and want to learn more about it, then I think that probably the appreciation of the older blues might escape them. When I'm on stage and I'm playing the music, I'm really listening and I'm getting my parts right, and I feel good while I play.
I started playing music in 5th grade. I started playing the double bass in my grade school's orchestra. I think I was the tallest kid in the school at the time, which is probably really behind the decision of ending up playing bass. The dude who picked me out because of my exceptional size for the upright bass was a guy called Mr. Butts. I forget how you spell his name, but it really was Mr. Butts, and he was a really cool guy who was a bass player himself. And he gave me the bass, and he gave my my more earthbound friend the tuba. So we were a matching set. The first bass player I probably really grew to admire is John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin. And I still admire him very much to this day. Nobody seems to really bring the bottom end like bass players used to, you know. So I try and be a little old school about